Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my 2022-23 NBA playoff picks. For some reason, they don't let you do the play-in. I don't know why, but I'll just tell you what team I think will win in the play-in. As you know, I am a Heat fan, and I will have no bias here because our team sucks this year. Anyways, let's get straight into it. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. Leave a like if you guys do enjoy. I usually do this every year. Sometimes I do I do a little prediction before the season starts. I didn't do that this year. I'll do it next season. But it is time for playoff prediction. So I'm going to probably speed through this a little bit. I'll explain why I think what. This is actually a really nice format. Usually the playoff bracket they have on the website is completely different. This is actually really clean. I guess we'll start from the top and go to the bottom. So, for the first one, we have the one-seeded Nuggets versus who I think they will face. I believe it will be the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans will beat out the Thunder and the Timberwolves for that last spot. So, in that case, with the Pelicans versus the Nuggets, Zion most likely won't play this series. And I could see the Thunder taking out both the Pelicans and the Timberwolves. I don't see the Timberwolves making it, especially with that Rudy Gobert stuff. They're going to be without Jaden McDaniels. They could make a run, but I'm going to have the Nuggets beating the Pelicans in 5 games. I don't think they'll sweep them. Usually when it comes to 1-8s, the 8 seed, the lower seeds always get at least one. So I had the Nuggets in 5 games going on to the second round. For the next one, probably the most anticipated series out of these playoffs from this first round will be the Phoenix Suns versus the Clippers. Paul George will be out for, I believe, this whole series, most likely, and obviously everyone's probably picking Phoenix here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick Phoenix in 7 games. I believe the Clippers can take them to 7. I'm hoping for a great Russell Westbrook performance. He needs it. One of my favorite point guards of all time. I think playoff Kawhi will finally get to see him versus Kevin Durant once again. But I feel like the Suns are just too good, and when they're healthy, they're the better team. They're the better team overall. Westbrook is going to have one of those 6 for 21 games. It's bound to happen. There's not enough depth on. Well, there's enough depth, but there's not enough star power without Paul George on that Clippers team. Especially with Paul George out, you're gonna have Kawhi on KD. Who are you gonna have guard Devin Booker? Norman Powell, Terrence Mann. Westbrook's gonna have to guard Chris Paul. You have Zubac, but I don't think Zubac can really guard DeAndre Ayton that well. So like I said, Suns in 7, and the Suns have a pretty decent bench. That is the thing. That's probably their biggest weakness would be their bench. But it's not that bad. Their bench is not that bad. Next up, Kings, Golden State, and everyone is picking Golden State for this one. I understand why, because the Kings are inexperienced, and the Warriors are getting healthy. They're getting Wiggins back. They got Curry back. They're starting to get into a groove. Reigning champions. But I'm going to be different here. I'm going to see the Sacramento Kings winning in 6 games. I believe the Kings will move on against the Warriors. I feel like something's going to happen to the Warriors. Either they're not going to be able to play well, maybe an injury, which I hope doesn't happen. But I just had the Kings winning the series. I feel like a lot of people think them as a fluke this season almost. Like, yeah, he had a great regular season, but everyone's going to dismiss him on the playoffs, saying they don't have playoff experience. You got Sabonis on that team who's been in the playoffs. His first year in OKC, he was in the playoffs, and he was with the playoffs with Victor Oladipo as the second best player on that Pacers team. You have Harrison Barnes, who has won a championship with the Golden State Warriors and has been to 2 NBA Finals and has been to the playoffs with the Mavericks. You have Matthew Dellavedova, who has won a championship. I know he doesn't play, but that's experience there. So I'm sure on their bench, Malik Monk, I believe, has Malik Monk made the playoffs? No, he was with the Lakers last year. He didn't. So Malik Monk did not make the playoffs because he was with the Hornets. But there's experience there. There's definitely some experience there. I just feel like they're gonna get the best of the Warriors. I just have a feeling something's gonna go wrong. Someone's not going to perform well, whether that be Jordan Poole, whether that be Klay Thompson, whether that be Draymond Green. Something's going to happen. I had the Kings winning. And for the next playing round, obviously, I had the Lakers going in as the 7th seed, going up against Grizzlies. And I don't know if you can see the percentage on the left side, but it has 51% people picking the playing round, which I'm assuming is going to be the Lakers. As much as I want to say it, that ain't happening. I think Grizzlies win in 5. I love this Lakers team, what they built, Rob Pelinka built, but I think a lot of people are underestimating the Grizzlies, especially without Steven Adams. I understand who you're going to have to stop Anthony Davis, because you have Jaren Jackson, who, possible defense player of the year, he fouls a lot. He fouls out of a lot of games, But this Lakers team is not better than this Grizzlies team. Like, let's be honest here. There is no way the Grizzlies are going to lose to either the Lakers or the Timberwolves. It's just not going to happen. I feel like AD is not going to show up. AD or Russell, one of those two are just not going to show up in these playoffs. It's going to come to bite them in the ass. And I think the Lakers are going to make a big shake-up this offseason. They're going to lose in 5 games to the Grizzlies. And that is basically it for the West. Should I continue to the conference finals? No, we'll just go on to the East. And for the East, round 1, we'll go different. We'll do the non-play-ins first. So Cavs, Knicks, 4-5, probably the second most anticipated playoff series. Two very good teams, 4 and 5 seed. You're not beating playoff Donovan Mitchell. I got the Cavs in 6. Julius Randle, last time he was in the playoffs, he disappointed heavily against that Hawks team. But he has help now and a proven playoff performer his first year with Jalen Brunson. I feel like Brunson will ball out. RJ Barrett's the one that scares me a little. I don't think he's going to do much. And we already know how Julius Randle plays in the playoffs. Hopefully he steps it up. But you're not beating playoff Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Jared Allen's got that paint locked down. Darius Garland's one of the best point guards in the league. They have one of the better supporting casts in the league with Karis LeVert, Ricky Rubio off the bench. I don't even know if Cedi Osman gets minutes anymore. Lamar Stevens is a great defender. I got the Cavs winning in 6. And for the 3-6 matchup, a lot of people are saying Mikal Bridges' revenge against the team that drafted him and traded him, his hometown team. This is the Ben Simmons revenge. Ben Simmons ain't playing, but he's going up against his old team. And the last time these two faced in the playoffs, Jared Dudley versus Ben Simmons was a thing. Yep, that was a scrap that happened last time these two teams faced in the playoffs. But I think the Sixers are going to sweep them. I'm very high on the Sixers team this year. I believe the Sixers are going to sweep the Nets. The Nets have had a good story since trading KD and Kyrie. They've basically plateaued. They haven't gotten better. They haven't gotten worse. They stood at that 6th seed, so that's actually good. I really think Mikal Bridges is going to be an all-star next year. He's going to be a star in this league, but I don't think they're better than this Sixers team. We'll go to the 1 seed first. We'll go to 2 for the first play matchup. 7-seeded Miami versus 8-seeded Atlanta. I had the Miami Heat winning that play-in game against Atlanta. We beat them in the 5 games last year in round 1. Playoff Jimmy is different. I want this matchup against the Celtics for a chance of revenge. And as you can see, it's 100% to 0%. No one has either the Hawks or the Heat beating the Celtics, which is fair. That's fair because I don't either. I have the Celtics winning in 6 against the Miami Heat. As much as it pains me, I just don't think this Heat team's just not good. If they're not going to hit their shots like they have all season, even though the second half of the season they turned it around, if they're not going to hit 3-pointers, they are going to lose this series. Plain and simple. If they can't get their transition defense figured out, they're losing this series. They came close, 1 shot away. It breaks my heart last season from the finals. But this team is practically the same. We just lost PJ Tucker. That's the only missing piece that we lost. And we've gotten worse because the rest of the East has gotten better. So if the Heat can hit shots, if the Heat can be like second half of the season Heat, last year's conference finals Heat, they can take the Celtics to 7, and hell, they might even win the series. I don't see that happening, sadly. I thought no matter coming into post All-Star break, I was like, no matter who the Heat face in the first round, they're losing. They're losing either 5, they're losing either 6, whether it had been the Bucks, the Celtics, or the Sixers. We were going to lose, so I had the Celtics winning in 6 games, which pains me because I despise the Celtics. Next will be the Bucks versus who I want to say Atlanta, but I think Toronto is going to beat out Chicago and Atlanta to get that 8th seed. I just have a feeling I'd like to say Chicago, but without Lonzo Ball, that team is just not good. The only reason why they got into the play-in is because the rest of the East either gave up on the rest of the season or is just not good. I think the only team trailing them were the Pacers and the Wizards. Pacers are in rebuild mode, and the Wizards are the Wizards. So I got the Raptors taking out the Bulls and the Hawks, going up against the Milwaukee Bucks, 1-8 matchup. Clean sweep. Bucks are sweeping them. They can't stop Giannis. They have no matchup for that Bucks team. This Bucks team is something to deal with. So, as you can see, I have all the higher seeds winning, which doesn't usually happen all the time. But it is what it is. I feel like the East will probably be the easiest to predict. I think that all the higher seeds are going to win in the East. It's just a matter of the games for the Eastern Conference. The West is a lot more difficult, obviously. But let's go back up to the Western Conference. Denver Nuggets, Phoenix Suns. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have the Phoenix Suns winning this series. I don't think so. I got the Nuggets winning in 6 games. I believe they don't have an answer for Jokic. They just don't. You say DeAndre Ayton. Ayton is a defensive center. Ayton is not going to stop Jokic in the paint. You could also say no one is going to stop Kevin Durant. They don't have a KD stopper. They have some people that can slow him down, like Aaron Gordon. That's really it. But I just feel like Denver's depth, Denver's all-around starting 5, it's better. It's better. They have the 2-time MVP in Jokic, arguably the best player in the league. Aaron Gordon, who's having a fantastic season, amazing defensively. Michael Porter Jr., who can give you either 25 or 12 a night, no in between. They got KCP, who's a great 3-and-D player. He's always been on winning teams, it feels like, ever since he's left Detroit. Besides when he was with the Wizards. We don't talk about that. And Jamal Murray. We all know how Jamal Murray gets in the playoffs. He hasn't been in the playoffs since, I believe, the bubble, right? He's been hurt ever since. I think so, unless they made it. I think they made it a year prior, before he got hurt. I don't remember. But I just feel like this Denver team, Bruce Brown off the bench, Chris Braun, I think is his name. He's a shooter off their bench. I don't know why I can't think of anyone else off that bench, but I know they have a really, really good bench. But I have them beating the Suns in 6. That's probably a controversial one, but I'm high on this Nuggets team. And then Sacramento, Memphis. I'm sorry, Sacramento. This is where it ends. Memphis is going to beat you in 5. It is what it is. I feel odd having the 1 and 2 seed in the Western Conference, which shouldn't be a thing. I shouldn't feel odd about that. But I do, because usually lower seeds end up. The 3 seed won the championship last year. It was a 3 and the 2 seed in the NBA Finals. But that is my Western Conference Finals. Denver, Memphis. Let's go to the East. Cavs, Bucks. I have the Bucks in 7 games. The Cavs will give the Bucks trouble. They can build a wall with Jared Allen and Mobley. They can slow down Giannis with those 2 bigs. It's a supporting cast. Drew Holiday is probably going to go off in the series. Chris Middleton might go off in the series. Mitchell and Garland are not going to be able to slow those 2 down. But Drew Holiday can slow at least one of those 2 down, and it's probably going to be Mitchell he's going to be guarding. So I have the Bucks beating the Cavaliers in 7. I feel like if we get this series, this might be one of the best series of the playoffs. And for the 3-2 seed Boston, Philly, I have the Philadelphia 76ers beating the Celtics in 7 games. Like I said, I am super high on the Sixers team. I have been since the beginning of the season. I know they haven't performed as well as I thought they would, but I'm not giving up on the Sixers team. I am not. I have them beating the Celtics in 7. The Celtics have been on a little bit of a slide in the second half of the season. They still got the 2 seed. They still have the second best record in the league. But there's some issues going on with their team when it goes to internally with Jaylen Brown, all those rumors, all those issues. I just feel like they've been slowing down recently. They're not going to have a stopper for Embiid. If you say Al Horford is going to slow down Embiid, you're stupid. Embiid is going to eat this series. They're probably going to throw Brown or Tatum on James Harden. I feel like James Harden might struggle in this series. But I think this is a series where Tyrese Maxey or Tobias Harris will step up. And don't forget, they got P.J. Tucker on their team. P.J. Tucker is going to be sitting in that corner like he did in the Heat series, hopefully knocking down some quarter threes. And I think the Sixers take out the Boston Celtics in 7 games. So the East, 2 7-game series. That should be fun. Those are the matchups I want to see. So now, both conference finals set. Denver, Memphis, Milwaukee, Philly. I have the Memphis Grizzlies winning in 6 games against the Denver Nuggets. I thought about it. I was like, Denver might do it. This Grizzlies team is good. Steven Adams will be back by then. I had the Grizzlies making it to the finals. I'm going to look back on this and regret this probably, I guarantee you. Grizzlies beat the Nuggets in 6. The reason for that, if Steven Adams is back, he can help Jarrett Allen try and slow down Jokic. Ja's the second best player in the series. Jamal Murray ain't going to do nothing to try and guard him. Desmond Bane. Who else? Who's that small forward? I forgot. Oh, Dylan Brooks. Yeah, we don't talk about him. Memphis has the better overall roster. They have arguably probably the best backup point guard in the league in Tyus Jones. They have, I know they lost Brandon Clark to an ACL injury, so that kind of hurts. I forgot about that. Oh, they have Zaire Williams off the bench who could play a pivotal role in these playoffs defensively. There's just a lot of players that could come into these series and have a pivotal role that didn't in the regular season. So I'm just going to say it. Grizzlies in the NBA Finals. Bucks, Sixers. I had the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Sixers in 7 games. Going into the season, I had the Sixers being in the finals. But just the way the Bucks have been playing this year, the way Giannis, the way Jrue Holiday has been playing this year, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez is playing like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, which he is. He is at least second in that name, in that race. The Bucks can't be dealt with right now. They really can't. The Sixers, I could see this being 6 games. I could see this being 5 games possibly. I'm going to go 7 because you can't count out Embiid and Harden, Maxey. That Sixers team is really deep. But Giannis, that Bucks team is built perfectly around Giannis, perfectly to make a run. And that's why for these NBA Finals, I see the Milwaukee Bucks winning in 6 games against the Memphis Grizzlies, getting their second championship in, I believe, 3 years. I know I must be logged in. You won't let me log in. The Milwaukee Bucks will beat the Grizzlies in the finals. Jrue Holiday will clamp up Ja Morant. It'll be his first time in the finals. I feel like he'll struggle. You got Brook Lopez on Jaren Jackson Jr. Stop telling me to sign in. I know. And then Desmond Bane, he might go off, but this Bucks team matches up just completely over this Grizzlies team. So I had the Bucks winning the NBA championship, and that is my playoff prediction. I will probably look back on this and regret all these picks, but maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be good. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. Leave a like, guys, did enjoy. Scarf guys are new. GG.